We're ready.
Yeah.
We're live. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we just can talk so I see the sound. You just speak.
Hola, hola, hola.
No.
Hello.
Okay.
¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, and how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh,
How's your day?
Also, oh, actually, I didn't tell you the story, so we can just like, I was coming. I saw my card, my bus card is not like valid anymore,
Uh-huh.
and I go to the bus, and I was aware of that, but like I didn't have time to buy another one. So you know, like if you put the card just like a bit,
Uh-huh.
it beeps, but it doesn't. It's not validated, and
Uh-huh.
bus drivers never notice that. But apparently, this one noticed.
Uh-huh.
And I was like sitting like in headphones, and he was like, "Oh, you didn't validate it." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Okay, and I blink, and it's like red. It's a red light. It's like expired. And he's like, "Oh, it's expired." I was like, "Okay, I can pay." And I have like only 50 years. He's like, "No, it's max 10."
Yeah, max 10, yeah.
I'm like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "Oh, but you cannot drive." I was like, "Please." And he's like, "Okay, where are you going to?" I was like, "Barceloneta." He's like, "Okay." And we were like only me and him, and we were like talking. I was like,
Classic Barcelona story.
yeah, I was like, it's so nice. Like here was like guy, especially as a
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Like,
actually, I feel like bus drivers here are like, how do you say, like they are kind, more
really
kinder
kind.
compared to, I don't
Yeah.
know, compared to the UK, for example. In the UK, if you don't have money or if you don't have like a card or it's a car, you cannot enter
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah. Yeah, in Eastern Europe the same. But in Mallorca, it's not like that. Mallorca, oh, we never bought like no, we bought only ticket twice, but a lot of the time we would enter the second door,
Mhm.
and every time they would look at us. And once the driver said, "No, if you open the door for us," and he said, "Get out." We
Oh
just
wow.
didn't have coins. He was like,
Yeah.
"Get out." I was like,
Yeah. And it's funny because you can't even pay with credit cards, so it's
"Yeah,
like
that's bad." And on the bus stops, you don't have these machines,
Mhm.
so it sucks.
It's quite funny because, for example, in Milan, you can go and use your tarjeta, your credit card, to pay, and you don't have even to like buy. You just tap it and you go wherever you want, and then when you go out, you tap again, and then you're going to
With your credit
take a
card.
yeah credit debit card. Like in London, for
Wow.
example,
Okay.
they are starting to test here as well, but they are a little bit behind. You still use the paper card.
Wow, that's
Yeah, yeah, it's
interesting.
cool. It's cool.
Actually, my first fine was in Milan.
Your first fine.
Fine. I
Oh,
collectioning
good one.
fines. I have fines. Like I have collection fines because I never pay.
Yeah, collection.
Yes, I
Oh,
have
nice.
from
It's good to know.
Belgium, from
The whole
Italy.
world will know now.
I mean,
They will know
plus,
where to
plus.
get you. Nike Box Barcelona.
No, actually, I have from Milano, from Belgium, from Brussels, from Krakow,
Mhm.
from Warsaw.
Wow.
From Warsaw, I have four.
So when you become old one day, you will look at all this fun and you'll be like, oh, that's when I
It
was
will be
young.
no. One day I will become famous and I will sell it for millions, and it will be like people will pay me.
So,
Okay. So,
hello from Nike Box Barcelona.
okay. Oh, see? This must be silent, but
Mhm.
it's not silent because there are noises. See?
Yeah,
Like,
for the eye condition.
yeah, and then you take this, and it recognizes the same sound
Mhm.
everywhere, and you cut it out.
Mm. Okay.
That's how it works. Okay, so let's start. So, hey Alex.
Hello.
How is the life going?
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, in Barcelona, it's always good. So, tell me about your life. How you decided to. So, your first move. So, you're originally from.
I'm from Napoli in south of Italy.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so much sound and pizza. So good. So, so why did you decide to go to London, to rainy cold London?
hmm So I think London was always in my mind. When I was studying, I wanted to learn English, to improve my English, and I was just watching series. And then I was like, yeah, maybe when I finish my bachelor degree, I'll go somewhere. And then 6 months before I was ending that, I decided to buy a ticket to London. And 6 months later, I was there. I remember my first day I arrived. I was expecting rain to be there, but then it was sunny the whole day, and actually everybody was happy. So I was like, "This is not London. There might be another another city." But it was London, and the first weeks there were just sunny as hell, and then it became the real London, which a lot of rain, stuff like that.
How many years ago was that?
Uh, 2011. So it
8 years
was eight
ago.
years ago, yeah. That's where it all started. Actually, it was the 11th of April.
And that's very
Yeah, I
well.
remember that. 11th of
So
April,
it's,
I was
yeah,
there.
so it's 8 years. Eight
Yeah.
years. Whoa. So you spent there. So what did you do there?
So I arrived there. I was living in a hostel. and then my first roommate was from New Zealand, so I couldn't understand one word. So I quickly decided to go and study English to a school. I did 2 weeks there. My companion, let's say, were Japanese and Italian, so
Uh-huh.
you can imagine I was not learning English because everybody was speaking Italian or Japanese. So I decided to go to work from Pull&Bear,
Mhm.
like Inditex, like Zara, Pull&Bear, these kind of things. And that was my school of English. For 1 month, I was folding clothes, and it was pretty fun. I met a lot of people. I improved my English as well, and then I stayed in a hostel for 1 year. So this, yeah, it's
How
amazing.
was that?
So it's not for anyone, I would say, but many people love that because you can meet a lot of people, and there, 80% of people, let's say, were living in this hostel. So it was a sort of a community.
Oh,
Like this was my first experience with many people from all over the world. Let's say it was an Erasmus. Yeah,
okay.
it was like that.
The free harassment for,
It was
but that's like
Erasmus.
you for a year. You like your privacy. I mean, like you're always
Uh,
with someone.
I was pretty lucky because I was living with my roommate was from Netherlands.
Hmm.
I don't remember his real name, but his nickname was Fish. So I don't know why, but his face was kind of a fish, so it might be for that. And then he was working in finance, so he was waking up at 5 a.m. and he was coming back after 11 p.m. all day. So I was living by myself, so that gave me a lot of privacy. But then, of course, you'll eat together, you will go out together, you were always together. And for me, as a 24 years old at the time, was the best thing. So I wanted to improve my English. I could improve my Spanish as well, because many Spanish were living there, and it was nice. And that's how I started to meet people working in marketing.
Mm.
They introduced me to marketing. They explained to me how the
Mhm.
world of agencies work. And yeah, that's I start. Then I started to look for internship, like in digital marketing. That's where everything started in
Oh, what did you study?
2011. So I studied a bachelor degree, science communication,
Okay, so
and
it's
then
similar, like the
yeah,
long branch.
yeah, it's so science communication, at least in Italy, I don't know anywhere else, is everything. So you have psychology, you have sociology, you have advertising, you have
Oh, we have the
marketing.
same problem, like all shit together, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
the end of the day you don't know anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's people that take it very bad, and people that take it very good, like me, because I was happy to learn a little bit of anything, and then I could specialize later. I did a master in marketing
Mm.
in Milan a couple of
Mhm.
years later. It was amazing. Like I mean, I learned a lot.
So after London was Milan, right? Where you
Yeah,
go?
so basically I was in London for 1 year.
Mm.
Then I did a couple of internship, finished my morning. Actually remember I was there and then I was getting on the plane to go to Milan to do this test to enter into this master, and they called me for a job. It's like, wow, that could change my life, but actually, it didn't because
Oh,
because I got on the plane, I was really like going up on the plane. I couldn't go back.
okay.
So I was like, yeah, that's destiny. I have to go to Milan. And actually, it was okay because I went to Milan. I did this master for 1 year. I met amazing people, and then I started to work in Milan actually. And I would say that Milan was good because that's where I worked for my first remote company. So work remotely. I mean, I didn't know that you could work remotely. I didn't expect people to work together without an office.
Yeah.
It was something that I just discovered by, randomly on Twitter. There was this girl saying, "Oh, I wish I was living in Milan so that I could work this job." And then, thanks to this tweet of this unknown person that I don't know, I will never meet in my life, I found my first ever job. So that's how I found out about remote work.
Well, cause yeah, cause back to those times where was no like remote workers, everyone has to go to office and everything. Like I
Yeah,
feel like in Ukraine, till, even till today, we don't have remote like workers normal. Like everyone is in the office.
yeah, I feel okay. So in Italy, I feel 2, 3 years before, maybe four, people started to do this smart work thing. At the end of the day, I don't like it because everyone that gets that, like, let's say I'm working for a corporation, right? A big one, a huge one that has branches all over the world.
Hmm.
Um, and then I take my smart work. Some companies are okay with that. Some others are like, oh, these people just want to get the smart work day so they cannot work that day. And I think it's not right because I work a lot. Like I had two experiences now of two remote company. One it was back in the days in between London and Milan, and one is now. And sometimes I work and I don't even realize my time. Like
I mean, yeah, I feel like if you really like your work, you will work. But if like
yeah,
friends are too if it sucks, your team sucks, your like manager sucks, and like
Yeah,
whatever you do, like even in the office, you will just drink coffee all day long
yeah,
and just go to toilet.
yeah. It's fun because I mean you have your own goals and targets and hours, so you have to be able to work with yourself and to say, okay, today I might not be 100%, so I have to give my 100% in 1 hour to get it all out. Or sometimes you feel productive and you work more than 8 hours because you just feel like it. You know, it's kind of the same thing, but it's different. I remember that I was working. My first remote company was social media marketing agencies from
In
London.
Milan, right?
Yep, I mean they are from London, but our client was Mondelez International, which is
Mm.
like Philadelphia, Milka
Yeah,
Mikado,
yeah, yeah.
and they were looking for somebody to work on the Italian market. They
Mm.
just won the client there. So I've been working community management, social media marketing for 8 years now. At the time it was around 3, 4 years. So I still already have some experience, and they were like, okay, you have to work from 9 to 5. When a client wants to do something more, you don't do it. So that was British style. And now I'm working with an American company, and they don't give me times or hours. They say, that's your goals for the week. I mean, that's your goals. And then every week, each week, today is Tuesday, I'm going to present what I did last week. And I like that because you have goals.
You have to choose them.
Yeah, you have to achieve these goals, otherwise there's a problem. But there's probably yourself first because you're like, oh, I have to present. So,
Yeah.
but it's not even that. It's not because I have to present that I do these things. It's because I like it. It's a good work-life balance, and probably that's one of the best thing here.
Well, so Milan was your point when you realized that you want to be like a remote worker, or was
Well,
it later when you traveled to Australia?
so Australia, it's an interesting story because I was working with my first remote company I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I was working in Milan at the time, and I just saw this Australian flag.
Mm.
So there is the Cathedral, Duomo Cathedral,
Yeah.
is very famous in Milan, right? And close to that, there is another square, and there was this Australian flag, like just, you know, uh, in the wind. You know, it was
Yeah.
amazing. I was like, probably I should go to Australia. And that's it, everything started. So I entered into the consulate with my uh, flatmate at the time, Roberto, and we just asked for information. We got paperwork. We were like basically already everything was starting. And then I got on the website. A couple of days after that, I saw the price. It was so easy. I mean, it was like probably $150 Australian dollars, which would be at the time, I don't know, 100 euros. Not even like expensive. And then, you bought your pass to go to Australia.
So you just bought it one way ticket.
At the time, so yes, I bought a
Oh.
one-way ticket to go there.
Wait, to Sydney, right?
No, I started in Brisbane. So Australia, biggest city are Sydney, Melbourne,
Yeah.
and then there is Brisbane, which is the third one. And I'm not sure why, but I felt it was the right choice because it was a little bit cheaper on paper. And at the same time, I wanted to travel Australia, and that gave me the opportunity to travel to start in a like cheaper city.
Mm-hmm.
So then there is the bureaucracy you have to do. Like,
Yay.
you have to get there, you have to Medicare, you have to get all this
Yeah.
shit sorted. And then Brisbane sounded like easier to, to start with.
Okay.
And that's where I started. I went to Brisbane. I stayed there a couple of weeks, like in a hostel, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I like to do. And then I met this Australian nurse.
So were you working in hostel or you just were
No, I
normal
was just staying.
staying?
So the fun part is that during all this trip, I already have a job because before going to Australia, I go to my boss, but online boss, and I ask him on Skype, like, hey, what do you think if I instead of working from 9 to 5, I work from from 5 to midnight? And he was like, yeah, why not?
Like
But
Australian time.
yeah, but I didn't even mention Australia. I just say I want to work from 5 to midnight. He was like, okay, you can do that. Can you do your job at this time? Is okay for you? I was like, yes. And then when he say yes and approved it, I was like, okay, but I'm going to Australia. And he was like, oh, okay, fine. And then for the first 3 months, I worked from Australia from 5 to midnight. And the first month was tough because I was in a hostel in Brisbane, which was amazing, by the way. It was the YHA Brisbane Hostel. If you ever go there, they have like this rooftop terrace with a swimming pool. You see all the skyscrapers. Wow, it was like amazing. And then yeah, I started my trip because I met this nurse, which was going from Brisbane to Melbourne, which is like, wow, it would be with a car. If you go in the normal pace, 5 days, 6 days. So it's a long, long, long
Yeah,
trip.
Australia is huge.
Yeah,
Like,
Australia is like bigger than Europe.
yeah, because like in 5 minutes you can cross all Europe and
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, and they just reached 25 million people now. So it's like Italy alone has
But
70 millions.
yeah, it's like desert, but like half of Australia is desert. You cannot have any
Yeah,
snow.
so the center of Australia is like there's
Nothing.
nothing. Like yeah, there's the famous mountain, but it's not even like that huge, honestly. It's okay, it's nice, but I prefer mostly the sea part,
Mm.
the ocean part. Like I don't know, the coral reef.
Oh, no,
That's amazing.
yeah. Y-
That
Did you go there?
yeah, I went there. So I've been visiting mostly the eastern part of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been to Brisbane. I've been to Brisbane, then I've been to Sydney, then I've been to Tasmania, then I've been to mostly most part of Queensland, and then not the eastern part of Queensland and the tropical Queensland,
Mm-hmm.
which is like Cairns, for example. There's lot of islands there that are must visit, and it's summer all year long. So it's like just amazing, you know. It's quite expensive to be fair, but it's a nice trip.
Yeah, I mean, like if you work remotely, you can always have an income, and then you
Yeah,
just rely on
yeah.
that.
To be fair with you, like at time, what happened was that I would start this job 3 months, let's say, more or less. And at some point, I didn't want to work anymore from 5 to midnight because, of course, the day is going to be long, right? You are
Mm.
traveling, you are working, you're destroyed at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So I just, at some point, I had to look for a normal job, and I found a normal job in a big agency, which is called Mindshare. They are a media agency, they branches anywhere. I have experience in that, so I was hired for them, and I was so sad because I was in the office again and I couldn't bear with it. Even if this company is nice and cool, I met many people from all over the world. It was boring. At some point, I couldn't stand anymore to see people in the office just in front of their laptops just because they want to show they're doing something, and then somebody was playing video games, somebody was doing their stuff, and I was there, wasting my time when I could just do my job in 2 hours rather than stay there 8 hours. So I changed. At some point, I went to a smaller one because they gave me more time. And actually, I worked for a festival called Beams Art Festival, which is about art, music, and food.
Mm.
There were like 30,000 attendees, so it was like amazing. Uh, but then, at some point, I was like, okay, uh, I feel like my experience in Australia was really fun. I travel a lot because these jobs, of course, were office job, but it gave me the money to
Mm-hmm.
go
Mm-hmm.
and to go during weekend. And then I was like, yeah, I want to look again for a normal job. So I felt like Australia gives you 1 year visa. So I was like, maybe it's time to go to Europe and back to Europe and find a job there. And that's where I started again to look up for remote jobs. So I went back to Napoli, and I've been like co-founding a startup with some friends. We were selling small video business online services like I don't know, Google
Mm-hmm.
ads, Facebook ads, content creation, stuff like that. And it was around, let's say, 1 year. It was really productive year. I did a startup, then I went out of startup because I feel like I'm not lose other things. And then that's where I found my actual job. So now I work in a video game company remotely, which is called BlueStacks.
Blue socks.
Yeah, BlueStacks.
Yeah, well, well, what a crazy name. Okay, so yeah, and you got and why Barcelona then?
Wow,
Because you were in Italy when you
so
founded
many
this
reasons.
company, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was in Italy and I still go to Italy sometimes. So I mean, I can be here, I can be there. I feel Barcelona is the best place for a lot of reasons. The first reason to me is the the opportunity to live close to the beach. So now we are like close to the
Yeah,
sea.
like 10 meters from the beach.
I mean, it's amazing. You can see the Barceloneta beach from here. You can do a lot of sports. Uh, it was pretty funny to start again to play beach volley after the last time I played beach volley probably was high school when I was 16, and then I came here in January.
Well, you're
Uh,
so good at it.
oh, thank you,
You
thank
never
you,
forget your skills. Yeah, once you're skilled enough, you never
thank
forget
you,
your skills.
thank you. I mean, I had to improve my spike again because I really suck, but
But no, I saw
I
you
can
guys
improve.
play, and I was like, I was like, 'cause there was a guy, Philip, he was like, yeah, do you want to play? I was like, no, 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 I was a dance here.
Actually, I just realized that I never saw you playing yet.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, never.
Because I normally go with same people.
Hmm.
And with you guys, I don't know, I just feel like, why would I torture you guys?
Come
Because,
on.
no, because like, there are those people who play really good. And once you miss your ball, they kind of get upset. I mean, I would get upset as well. And I'm like, yeah, you just enjoy yourself. I just dance. I love dancing.
Okay.
Stuff like cheerleading.
Well, but you should do that anyway.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, definitely, definitely. But during the days and no one plays, that's why I'm like,
Yeah, so it's the fun, one of the best part now is beach volley. To be fair with you, like I didn't know till I start playing again at the beach, and now I can't. It's like a drug. It's like I want to play every night.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
After work, it's like
you
wow, it's
get
perfect.
addicted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then another reason, of course, is the tech industry here. So, I mean, maybe you understand that from this interview so far, but I love tech, I love social, digital, I love everything that is online, and I think the city has lots of, I would say, meetup, a lot of like people that know about it. There's a lot of opportunities to understand and to listen to people and what's going on next. And then, of course, co-working. Like now we are in 90 Box, Barcelona, but here there is so many that you can go and work with and meet amazing people. So I would say that that's one of the reasons. So sport, digital lifestyle, digital normal lifestyle, and then Barcelona is just amazing. I mean, every day there is a potential event you can go to. It's not easy to stay home, so if you're looking for a city where you can save some money, I'm not sure Barcelona is the best one.
Yeah, you cannot really like save money here. I mean, you can really go broke here.
Yeah, you can really go broke if you're not, like, for example, just cooking for lunch, which I never do, unfortunately. Today, no, yesterday was the first time I ate lunch home for a long time. And then there's a lot of
What
good
was
ones.
it? Just rice? Oh, I cooked rice. I boiled eggs.
Yeah, actually, no, yeah, but no, I cooked pasta yesterday
I'm
as a
not
fellow
surprised.
Italian, as a fellow Italian would do. But yeah, Barcelona is not the best place to save money if you don't want to.
But I feel like there are still like ways to save money with here, even
Oh
when
yeah,
you're
definitely.
like now here, like you can enter for free and work for free, while other co-working spaces will charge you
Yeah.
like 20 euros.
So the one other thing I can give to you, for example, I don't know if like you can add it in the podcast links. This company is called Croissant.
Yeah.
You can use it as let's say it's the Airbnb
Hmm.
for co-working. It's amazing because you go there and you can try for free in the first week, and then you can just buy your passes. You buy by the hour, and it's good for people that sometimes not like to work from home, but sometimes they go like to go and meeting people and exploring the city at the same time. For me, since January, so now we are almost in June, I got to explore the city thanks to this app, thanks to Croissant, and to I don't know to discover Poblano, which is one of my favorite areas in Barcelona. Of course, Barceloneta, of course, Gracia, Poblesec is also a nice area, Barcelona, and it's amazing. Like, love it. And I would say that another reason for me, from Barcelona, it's very close to my home, so there's probably 2 to 3 flights each day. So, for example, this weekend I'm going to go back to Napoli till next Wednesday, so I will be there, for a holiday, in the holiday.
Hmm. I'll be missing that.
Yeah, I feel Barcelona is like it's like a holiday city. Even if you're not on holiday, you feel like you're on holiday all the time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Ah, definitely. For me, it's like, but how do you live in such a great city and still be productive?
It's an interesting
Because for me,
question.
it's so difficult. What I mean, like during the weekend, it's sunny, people are out, everyone drinking, partying, and you have to do your things.
Yeah,
And I'm like, how do you control yourself?
that's a nice question. I feel so. I try to, each night before I go to sleep. It could be each night before I go to sleep. Each night, I try to write my schedule for the next day. So or for the next days. So I have like a diary basically, or I have my calendar, and I know what I'm going to do next day. So I know what time I'm going to wake up. For example, today I woke up at 7:30. I went to the gym, which is like just here close to my house. Then I went to buy some stuff that I need to. Then I had breakfast. So if I wake up at 7:30, I already got 3 things out of the way, and then I can be productive. I can go to the co-working, which is close to my house in this case, and I can start to work on my schedule. I can start to work on my schedule, which I already knew because I prepared that the day before. Then at the same time, there's a lot of people that are going to propose you to go to play beach volley, to go out, blah blah blah. You can do that as long as you're a digital nomad or you work remotely. I guess that you don't have that time today where you have to do stuff. Goals, you have your goals, and then you're going to.
Okay.
Okay. As long as you are a digital nomad, as long.
Well, it's when you're too broke to get your office, like and get your
Yeah.
studio and record it.
So if you're watching, this is how you record a podcast. Basically,
Sometimes it doesn't work.
sometimes it doesn't work like you wish to, especially if you're doing this and co-working. But anyway, so as long as you're a digital nomad, you can create your own schedule, and I think it's totally fine to get distracted sometimes because uh, so this is a really important point to me. Like working 8 hours, it was not decided in 2019. It was decided in I don't know before the start of the 1900s, and it's like, come on, guys, this was when people were working with machines in like in a different environment. Now we mostly work with a laptop, we mostly work with the internet, we mostly work with online application. Okay, I'm a digital nomad, you are, but there's people working in office with email every day, and they are doing Skype calls with anyone, and they have to be there for 8 hours when probably they will need to work 6 hours at least, sorry, at max, like they're doing in Sweden. So Sweden, I'm not sure if it's official already, but they changed the time, and they are people are more happy there. People are happier. Holland is one of the country that is known as one of the most happy countries in the world because people are working part time, most of them. So this is related. This is not unrelated for sure. Like people are happier if they work less, but not because they work less, because they're more productive. And also being more productive give them happiness. And then, of course, they have time to do whatever they want after that. It can be gym, it can be being with a loved one, it can be doing sport, I don't know, anything. But life is not just about work. So I try to create my own schedule also because not just to be productive, but to have more time to do other things.
Okay, okay. Wow, that's amazing. But now, like when you're working, because you're working full time, so it's like
Yeah.
basically 4 hours away. But in reality, you work less, right? Because you feel like you're more productive, like
So
working less.
it really depends. Like for example, one of the tasks I'm doing now uh, at my company, I work for the Italian market about let's say I started 1 year and a half ago, and my first task was to launch this product, BlueStacks, uh, on the market. So it was already launched, but there was no one like doing tasks for that. So after that, the product now is known. People are playing with our PC game platform. We are like the second PC game platform worldwide. We have 300 million users, so we're not like a small company. We are quite big now. But my task now changed a little bit. So now our focus is to create esport tournaments so that people can play online every day. So we started probably 2 months ago to do this, and now we are running one tournament each day, just in Italy. So I would say that at the moment we have 1,000 tournaments worldwide each month, which is like boom, it's like it's crazy. So now I have some people that help me. I have Francesco, which is I wouldn't say intern now, he's a community manager for me. Then I have Giorgio, which works for me writing articles. Then I have Angelo, which does engagement online with social media. Myself, I try to run tournament. I hire influencers on YouTube and Twitch. For people that don't know Twitch is about video game streamers. So
Mhm.
people basically like cast gaming, they cast tournaments, they talk about everything else they want, and of course, they can be contacted and you can work with them. And it's pretty fun because I've been working paid social media for years, spending $1,000, no, probably more than that
Yeah.
with my clients, and now working with influencer marketing, I would say that that's the future. Actually, that's the present of marketing because it's better to work with these people than spending money on paid ads.
Okay. Well, so you're now managing other people, like for who
Yeah.
work for you. So how is it to manage this on distance? Because when you're in your office, you can always come to see what he's doing. If he has a problem, you just come
Yeah.
and you manage him. And it's like for me, it's like kind of for me it's like kind of going faster, but when you have to email,
Mhm.
isn't this, do you have like this kind of delays? Do you have this kind of delays in progress with them, or do you have any other like kind of issues? Because you cannot go out for a beer after work because you're in different countries.
That's an amazing question. So, the only person I met so far in my company, it's my former boss.
Only one.
Only one person. We are like around 300, I would say. And I met one person so far. It was London. I went to London to meet her. We were to a conference. We had such an amazing time. She's an amazing person,
Mm.
Yannicka. She works hard. She's now in business development from our company, so she creates deals. But about anyone else, I did my first interview with my boss. I was Tom. He was this in Tom. He was wearing a cap. Actually, remember he was wearing a cap like that. Just wearing it on top of his head. I was like wearing a shirt. And I was like, yeah, that's a video game company, so it's totally fine. We could wear whatever we want, not just because we work from home or from co-work, because it's a video game company, right? And then we had such an amazing time. He was asking me why you won't work. That the classic question. But then he was like, what do you do in life? I mean, what do you do apart of work? And that question really was nice because it made me understand that these people care about what we are, right? And then about the people I'm managing now, how do I like? I mean, WhatsApp is one of the best things. So usually, what I do, I create a WhatsApp group with my team, and I create a WhatsApp group with my team and the influencers, so that we all know what we're doing. To be honest, not all the people will like that because WhatsApp is pretty intimate. Um,
Mm.
you know what I mean, right? It's like pretty intimate. But at the same time, I believe that work, if you are working with something that you like, uh, it's not something that you feel like, oh, they are uh, destroying my privacy. They are like close to what I do, right? So WhatsApp is definitely one of the things. Then we do one work weekly. I mean, we do more, but one is like we have to do that. We must do that. The other ones are more like vocal messages, email, sometimes when there's something to be really official, but mostly call. And about managing that, we have tasks management tool system. Um, I use a lot Google Excel, so it's
Mhm.
the Excel version of Google. So it's called
Well,
Foggy in Italian. I'm
mhm.
not sure in English, but it's called basically Excel. And then we have Google Slides, which is basically PowerPoint. It's all free, so you
Yeah,
don't need to
Google
pay.
Sheets, I think. Yeah, Google Sheets are
Google
very good.
Sheets, yeah.
Yeah, Google Excel. Mhm.
So it's all free. It's a free tool.
And
Um,
you can work like together at the same moment on
yeah,
one document.
exactly. You can work together, and what I can do, I can tag him. So instead of using the at, I will use a plus, and I
Mhm.
would write his name. And I would say, I need you to do that. So it's an example of like a task I can assign him, and then when it's done, it's going to check and say the task is done, and that's how it works. And he does everything. Like he's an amazing guy. He's 22. He's studying engineering. He's studying informatic engineering at the moment,
Mhm.
engineering, and such an amazing guy. I wish like he will work for me with me forever. But I know that one day he will find another thing, and I will definitely help him
Yes,
to
I
find something else
know.
because he's really good. He's running tournament every day. He started to learn how to talk with influencer, which is something I did for a lot of
Mhm.
years. But now I'm giving him stuff to do, so I can focus more of finding new partners, finding new ways to advertise our company. Uh,
But do you have those moments when you wished you were with them, like in one office, like in one space? Like,
if I miss that,
yeah, do you like this kind of, personal connection, like physical connection with them?
interesting. So yes, and no. I mean, there's some days where you are like not feeling like being with people, and that's the day when you work from home.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also the days when you have connection with them. You don't need to show them. Like sometimes we make calls like showing our face. Sometimes we do not because it depends how you feel that day. When when I when I feel I'm missing connection, I'm going to work. Like now, we go in a place, you can talk with people, and then sometimes I go in another one. So it really depends how I feel. Um, I would say that in the first 2 days of the week, like Monday and Tuesday, I need more to focus on analytics because a lot of my life in the days is Excel. And then from Wednesday over, I can focus more creativity, and that's what I need to be more with people.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. I guess everyone wants to do different stuff.
Okay. So, like last questions, like So what are your like guide for like becoming a digital nomad, like top advices that you can give? Because like some people cannot just quit that. They're afraid, right? They're afraid of losing friends at work, they're afraid of losing this
Mm,
kind of motivation, or they're afraid that you will lose money because once you work remotely, some people think you're not productive enough and then they can fire you.
mm,
Because and some like also managers they're doubting you. Like if are you really working or you're just like drinking coffee somewhere?
mm.
And so what's the motivation like to really to quit this 9 to 5 job and just to go somewhere and just try to work remotely?
So I think it's a tough question for a lot of people because the first complaint I get when I talk about digital nomads, people are like, I'm going to get bored without anyone around me. And you can solve that just going to work or going to a bar. Like sometimes I don't work in a work, I go in a bar and there's a couple of nice bars in Poland now. When you go there, there's nice music but not very loud. There's a table, there's stuff when you can plug in your laptop, and you can find a lot of people there. About productivity, guys, like it's about your motivation. It's not about the place you work. It's about how much you want that job. If the reason why you wake up each morning, go to your workplace is for the money, you're doing the wrong thing. I turned down an offer for a real office job, like a couple of months ago. It would pay me 40% more of what I'm earning now. But honestly, to give up the freedom of, I'm not free because I'm still working in a company, right? But I'm free to do way more stuff. I am free to turn down the fact that I have to work till, I don't know, 9 p.m. sometimes. Like this company is another amazing video game company. Uh, I wish to cooperate with them in the future, but honestly, they were like, oh, sometimes you have to work you have to work overtime. And I was like, can you like tell me how much overtime should I do? And they were like, it can be like almost 2 times a week. And overtime usually goes 8, 9 p.m. And I was like, I'm really willing to give up all of this for, yes, plus 40% more what I'm earning now. But is that money all about, or is it about freedom? And that's the reason why I feel like people should try at least to work. Not as digital nomad, but at least as a remote worker, you don't need to travel the world. Now I would call myself more than a digital nomad, I would call myself a local digital nomad where I'm exploring Barcelona. Um, I don't like know if I'm going to live here forever, but the time is like the place where I want to be. But then that makes me to be free to go to Napoli, to my hometown. I can go to London to visit my friends. I know I can go somewhere else, but at the same time I'm free. That's priceless.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to hear that. Yeah, because I feel like, even like if you make lots of money at the end of the day, like you don't have time to spend them, You have
Exactly.
you have really lots of money and you can have like
Yeah.
cool apartment, super aqua products at home to eat. But at the end of the day, you just work
Yeah.
and then you're tired. And I had this in Warsaw, like I was just working, like I didn't earn that good money, but like it was good for me to survive and like to travel. But at the end of the day, like I was like till 7. Sometimes I would like take overtime till 8, 9.
Mhm.
Then I would come home. I couldn't even have energy. Like I didn't have energy to go to gym because I was dead. And
Exactly.
I would come home. Okay, I did have money in my account, but what for?
Yeah. What for?
Like it's still you have food already. You have apartment already. I have nothing to spend it on. And I was like, oh, I gotta like I better because like I found a way that I can live even without money. Like volunteering right now. I live like basically without. Okay, I do have budget, but it's like very limited budget, right? And like you can really live good life without little money. You just have to try your best and you
Yeah.
have to.
I feel like so. For example, in Barcelona, I feel like many people don't earn a good salary, especially when you work in office. I hear like very low salary here, and uh, but at the same time, like there is a cap. Let's say I would say the Barcelona is around 25, 27,000 per annum, and when you reach that, everything is up on that is very good, is better, but lower than that you can live. But at the same time, let's say that you go to work in an office, right? So when you go to work in an office, you're not going to cook every day for work because you're not going to have time. So you're going to spend money on food, and then you're going to spend money on transportations, and then probably you're going to spend money on after drinks because you're going to be like forced to do some activities with your coworkers. I mean, hopefully you're going to have amazing coworkers, right? but most of the time it's not like that.
No, yeah.
Because,
Also clothes
yeah.
you have because so many companies they really want you to be dressed properly.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I
And
was reading an article the other day.
and
People
it's
spend a
lots of
lot of,
money.
yeah.
Especially for
So
men. I feel like men like have to have the suits and they're so
I feel
expensive.
I feel women spend more money on that
Okay, I don't
because
know.
men can wear the I don't know like blue thing at the
Okay, yeah, cause
workplace, at the funeral, at the wedding, anywhere, right? And you women you should have
oh yeah, we
like
need like more. Yeah, because the dresses you wear to work, you will never go to a clubby, but you can go in shorts to a club.
yeah
Good point.
yeah. I mean I
Thank
wouldn't.
God I'm not. I would be like, no. I
Yeah.
remember when I got my first like work in Poland, and it was Shell, the petrol station. Like
Oh yeah.
always, we were working. I was working in human resources for the UK
Oh, I
market.
thought you were working the show.
No, yeah, so I
Okay.
had to get my shorts. No, no, like in office, like I was
Okay.
managing their employees. It was really like it was a cool experience. But I remember they hired me. It was July, and they told me like, okay, we have dress code.
Mhm.
And I had not, so like I cannot have like open like like arms, like I cannot have like
Uh-huh. Oh really?
decollete, like you cannot.
Like it could be like this, for
No, no,
example.
no, no. This would be like actually I did go like that once, and they
Uh-huh.
were like, Dorina. I was like, come on, just chill. And they're like, no, no, no. And then it turned out I didn't have anything to wear,
Wow.
like because like I was a student. Students don't wear like like all clothes. I mean like I was 18. I was like, fuck it. Okay, sorry guys. So
No ways you can say
no,
that.
no, 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 because then like in the podcast I have to click it as explicit, and I don't want to do that.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's why like sorry, I'll cut it out.
Oh, pobre.
So, so yeah, I was 18 and I didn't have, and I spent like 200 euros. It was really big money for a student on clothes just to buy. It was covered everything, and I didn't really like that clothes. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like it was good, but it was like more pushy. It was like
Mm,
nothing that I
interesting.
wear. And then like after I finished, I never wore it again.
Wow.
And it's
Okay.
like I could spend this 200 years in traveling.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Yeah,
anything else.
yeah,
Or it
just
could be something you could spend on your rent, for example.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah,
like
it's a bit. So I mean, I'm not against working in the office because let's face it, between 20, I mean, I graduated in my master 2013, between 2013 and 2014, and then during Australia years, and then in Napoli after that, I've been working in offices. I've been working in office a long time, right? So I learned a lot because being close to people told me everything I know, right? But then now, today, 2019, all the resources are online. Like you want to learn how to make a podcast, you can go online and just know which socks
you
to buy,
have to put on your
which socks you have to buy to put on your microphone, or which program you should use to record, or which camera I'm going to buy after this one. Like you need that stuff. You don't need to go to the office to learn that. So I guess it's more of a lifestyle. It's about lifestyle. So you want to go and then let's say normal or you want to have a routine, let's say. Probably that's a person that needs to go and work in office.
Mm.
It's okay. It's fine. I'm not against it. I'm just feel there's more than that than an office place. Uh, what I would like probably it's if I work in a remote company, I would like to meet them. Like at some point, like doing 1 year retreat. I know that now my company is thinking about that. We don't know if they're going to do it this year or not because now we are a lot, so it's going to be a big cost for that for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
But it would be nice to like for a micro one. I don't know. We'll see that. But then apart from that, like I'm not complaining. We talk a lot. We talk at least once a week. We exchange a lot of emails. We exchange a lot of messages on Hangout, on Telegram, on Discord, on WhatsApp.
So you're pretty close, like you're really friends.
Yeah, yeah, not with all of them, but with some of them. Like for example, there is one coworker that now is from Peru. There was an earthquake
Mm.
the other day, and it was like, oh man, are you right? You create relationship. It's not so if you think that you don't create a relationship just because you don't work in some office, that's bullshit. You're definitely going to create a relationship with people, and with others you don't because there's people you like more, there's people you like less, but then you're still going to work. And probably the fact that people that you like less are not going to be in front of you the whole day.
That's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. They will make you work more, right?
Yeah.
And more productive.
Yeah, because in the office,
Perfect.
like sometimes you're like happen to sit next to someone who is super annoying
Yeah,
or talking all the time or like
yeah,
disturbing you, and you just cannot shut him up, and it's like
exactly. What about like the open space trend now? Like every office now has this open space bullshit thing going on, right? Uh, you are going to not work at all because everyone can come and access to you easily. It's like, oh, you're concentrating on a task, and then your coworker taps your shoulder and say, hey, do you want to go for a coffee? Or, oh, can you help me with this? Or blah, blah, blah. And you're going to stop, concentration is gone, your day is gone. And you're going to do overtime for that, right? Working from home or from a co-work, yes, people can come to you and ask you stuff, but at the same time, there's more respect. I would say because people are more aware of the fact that you're working for yourself or still for a company, but then you're working, right?
Yeah, and there's
It's
this kind of atmosphere, like everyone
yeah,
is working, and you feel like guilty when you're just, sitting on Facebook,
yeah,
and everyone is like earning money actually in real
yeah,
time, and you're like, okay, I gotta do something, because this
yeah,
is what I feel. Yeah, it's really.
yeah,
But what I also didn't like about offices, like when you sit, because I worked like open space, like everyone
yeah.
sees everything, and I had the worst place ever. So like I was sitting in the middle, so everyone who would go to toilet, to bathroom, to kitchen, or to boss's office would pass me and pass me from back, so everyone would see what I'm doing. And I
Interesting.
felt like, I always have to be like in those Excels or, docs and everything.
Uh-huh.
So I couldn't even, go and search something like, because I was working in marketing, so I had to search like ideas and
Yeah.
everything. And like when I was like searching for some like pictures, like ideas, because I have to visualize something, a girl was like, came and she tapped on me. She was like, oh, you're not working. I was like, girl, chill. Like, I'm not taking your money. But she's like, oh, you gotta work better. Like, I mean, don't, she's like, don't search Pinterest. I'm like, girl, let me decide. And I was feeling always this kind of, because when you like working from home, you decide what you want, right?
Yeah.
You want to send on Facebook, whatever,
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah. I
No
mean,
one is watching
I mean, for me, for me, it's funny because I've been working with Facebook advertisement for
you.
years.
Yeah.
So it's like I had must be. Oh, you're not on Facebook. What are you doing? You're not working. So it's kind of different, but at the same time, I understand why.
Yeah, but so many people just have this kind of approach that like if you're in social media, it's not real work. And like, oh, social media, it's not. Why is there screaming? Yeah, it's like people stop, what else? Yeah, it's like social media, and like so many times, like when I was like working in social media, it would be like, oh, it's not real work. Like even inside of my
What?
company, it was so much fun because like I was like, yeah, it was once. So I was managing social media for that company, and I had to do like also about our life outside of work, right? So when we were going out for pizza, I would just do some stories about that, like posts and like and I was like tagging, like like doing this kind of boomerang thing, and he was like, "Why are you doing that all the time?" I was like, "Maybe because I'm getting paid for that." He's like, "Ah,
Oh my
"This
God.
is what you're paying for." I was like, "Inside of one company." And he was like, "Just go."
Wow. I remember when I was working my first remote company and I was going to work, we were like, in the beginning, actually, I was working inside the office of the client. And people were not understanding what we were doing. They were like, oh, you're working on social media. You're working on what? Because we already do that. I was like, in my mind, I was like, no, you're not doing anything actually about it. So people don't always understand what you're doing, right? But we don't care.
Yeah, yeah, just like like at the end of the day, you earn your money, and that's like something. It's like if they don't understand, like just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So this is a motivation. Oh, 50 minutes. So this is a motivation to go and like exit that box, that bubble, and be out bubble. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So like keep going with this stuff. And thanks to you, I discovered so many amazing places like here, like co-working. It's like new word because like in Poland we don't really have them. In
Hmm.
Ukraine, now I feel like they're starting to build.
I think there are. I think there
There
are.
are, but they're super expensive. Like in
Hmm.
Ukraine, it's the same. Like entry would be like 20 euros
Hmm.
per day. Who can afford it? In Ukraine, you cannot afford it. Like literally.
Yeah.
There are some like now when I went to Ukraine and I explored some like student co-working spaces. But it's like in universities. But once you go there, it's more like students coming together and
Hmm.
just chatting. So you cannot
Yeah.
work. So it's more like just chatting around.
Hmm.
But those co-working like this kind of style, you don't really find a lot in
Hmm.
Ukraine. They're building, but it's like, we're not that culture of
Yeah, they're
nomads.
coming. Obviously, in Italy, they are starting, but at the same time, the first trend of working was more about offices, let's say. So you would find the classic, like, huge desk with many spots, not like this chilling place like here. So yeah, I feel like each country has their own style. In Italy, for example, there's many freelancers, and now the government is starting to realize that. So I would say once the government starts to realize that, there will be more people like building up co-working. In Spain, I'm not sure, but in Barcelona, there's a lot.
Huge.
I was in Canary Island in January. There's many, many, many co-works there. Actually, there's a huge, yeah, there's a huge, huge community there. I'm thinking to check it out again in September, actually, because I believe the Canary Island is a really cool place to go. I don't know if it's cool as Barcelona because here, of course, yes, there is more life, there is more like chilled. Uh, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
For a couple like weeks, maybe it's good idea. No?
Yeah, for a couple of weeks, definitely. Like, I mean, even for 1 month or 2 months,
Yeah,
if you like.
definitely. Do you
Sometimes
surf?
I tried in Australia, but I think I mentioned this in the past with you. Like, I'm a little scared of sharks, tiburones.
You don't
So,
have sharks in Barcelona. Ah, okay,
oh
Barcelona you
no,
cannot surf. Like,
I mean, you can.
you
I
can
know
try.
people that do that, but then there's not a lot of waves
It's like,
apart of
yeah.
the past few days where it was raining as hell. But yeah, yeah, I was scared there, so I didn't really try for real, I would say. I will try again one day. I like the idea. What about you? Do you surf?
No, actually, I went to Brazil to surf,
Uh-huh.
but I was like, I went there when it was summer here, so
Mhm.
it was winter there. I didn't really realize that it really has this kind of because it's always like sun, right? But it was like the season of rains.
Okay.
So I came there, and for them it's really so it's 25 degrees, just like these past days, it was rain.
Uh-huh.
For them it's just winter. They wear pullovers, they wear like sweaters, and for me it's like what? And they don't surf. And I was
Wow.
really amazed. Like surf was those like super experienced ones, so you can see only one two surfers. And I was like, why? And they're like, oh, it's cold. I'm like, 25 degrees, dude, that is not cold. He's like, no, 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 that is cold, that is cold. So no one's hurt. And I was like,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, it's still on my list. So it's like, I gotta learn, but not here. Maybe like south in Spain or Portugal
Yeah, I
or
feel,
Canary
yeah,
Islands.
Portugal definitely is a nice spot. But even Canary Island, they do a lot there.
Yeah, there
If you
are
go to
so many
south,
surf camps.
yeah,
It's
in
so
Tenerife,
amazing.
if you go there, the southern part, it's very windy, so you will surf for sure.
Yeah. Also Morocco. My friend went to Morocco and she had like amazing waves there. So like this part of Europe is just yeah, unfortunately not here. It's only like minus in Barcelona, no waves. But still. Okay, thank you so much. So much so. Have a good day. Have a good co-working days in
Thank you.
Barcelona.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being with me and stay with us guys and thank you and follow. I will link his Instagram so you can follow Alex on Instagram as well and see his co-working space every day. And yeah, stay with us and thank you for being here. See you soon.
Ciao.
52 minutes. Well, amazing.